Well, hello to all of my methodical researchers out there. Today we're going to talk about law reviews. Law reviews are an important secondary source that you do need to be familiar with, even if you won't likely use them in this course. Now, you are likely familiar with at least the basic format and characteristics of a law review and of law review articles. They are not so dissimilar from the academic journals and their associated articles that you see in other disciplines. Now, like these journals, law reviews are, of course, periodicals, so we know that issues come out regularly, but that once an issue is published, it will no longer be updated. We also know that, like most of these academic journals, most law reviews use consecutive pagination for each yearly volume, so only the first issue of a particular volume will start with page 1. And like these academic journals as well, that you've probably used in some capacity, law reviews are primarily a venue for academic commentators, such as law professors. However, in some important ways, law reviews are actually very different from journals in other academic disciplines. First, and most importantly, they are usually edited by students just like yourselves, and not by the experts and professionals that you would find editing other types of academic journals. Students select the articles, and students make all of the edits. Students double-check the citations and the sources. Second, unlike most academic journals, law reviews do not emphasize empirical studies. Most law review articles are primarily rhetorical. They present analysis, commentary, and arguments largely based on legal sources, not the results of experiments. Law review articles present scholarly, in-depth arguments about the law that can sometimes be quite helpful in researching some areas of the law that are more heavily theorized, such as federal constitutional law. They can also be useful when you are researching an issue that is truly novel, because in the absence of primary sources, the decision maker will need some sort of theoretical basis to justify a decision. Now, law review articles also make normative or prescriptive claims about the law. That is, they don't tell us what the law is, they present arguments about what the law should be. Unless a law review article is already proven to be influential, this argument about what the law should be will often be a step beyond the type of argument that a court is going to be prepared to accept. However, in making that argument, most law review articles will describe the current state of the law, sometimes in a separate section of some sort. Now, since law review articles are also so very thoroughly researched, this description or this section can be a great place to find sources, but you do have to be careful to distinguish between descriptive statements of what the law is and prescriptive claims about what the law should be when you use law review articles in this way. Another important characteristic of law review articles is that they present these prescriptive claims on narrow and novel legal issues. Usually, the thesis of a law review article is going to be quite limited in scope and very specific. It's also going to present an argument that in some respect has never been presented before. These attributes, narrowness and novelty, really limit their utility in the sort of meat and potatoes legal research that we usually do in this course. We aren't usually going to be researching a totally unheard of legal issue or presenting a court with an extremely narrow and specific thesis. However, do keep in mind that even if you aren't arguing the exact same thesis as an article, you may still be able to use it to find sources if you were at least researching a related legal topic. Law review articles are useful in this way because they contain so many footnotes. The citations are going to be quite voluminous and may collect many sources whose relationship to the topic is too indirect for, say, your average treatise or legal encyclopedia to pick up on. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean a law review article will be your absolute best go-to source. Usually something else will fit your needs better for the type of research that we do in this course, but it does mean that when they are helpful, they are usually really helpful because they connect you to such a wide array of sources. You can find law review articles on both Westlaw and Lexis. It's pretty easy to find them if you just start typing law reviews into the search bar. The law review database will automatically populate. Hein Online, a resource you can get through the Law Library's website, also has a really great selection of law reviews, and they are actually usually a bit easier to read since they reproduce the exact formatting of the print version. Now, the search strategy for finding relevant and helpful law review articles is sometimes a bit more complicated because you'll often need to brainstorm related legal topics to find a useful law review article. But we don't have time to go into any real depth here because you actually won't be using them that often, especially in this course. Now, sometimes you will see more influential law review articles cited in treatises or even in statutory annotations. So yeah, law reviews and law review articles. Unless you're an academic or you just happen to be researching some very novel legal issue, they probably won't have as much utility to your legal research as most of the other sources that we will discuss, but it is important that you have at least a basic familiarity with what they are and what they do. Okay, that's all I have for now. Until next time.